In the 5th century, time was a fluid, quiet experience. Without clocks, daily life followed the sun, and the total silence across early European landscapes meant that neighboring communities lived completely cut off from one another. As settlements grew into dense clusters of wooden homes, this silence became a logistical hurdle. Without a shared way to track the hours or signal a crisis, a city had no way to coordinate a harvest or alert the next street over when a chimney fire began to spread. The earliest attempt at mass synchronization started with monks in the rugged hills of Italy and Ireland. They rang small handbells called tintinnabula to coordinate their daily prayers across the valleys. As populations multiplied, the scale of the sound had to match. Engineers moved the bells from inside stone walls to towering heights above the roofs, scaling up the bronze until its ring could reach the farthest agricultural fields. This massive, suspended instrument became known as the voice of God. By hanging thousands of pounds of resonant metal high in the air, medieval builders created humanity's first mass communication network. The tower acted as a civic nervous system, broadcasting instant data to entire cities. Creating this acoustic network required extreme precision. Foundry workers spent weeks smoothing the clay molds by hand before pouring molten bronze in dark, high-heat workshops. If the mixture of tin and copper was off by a fraction, the resulting bell would cure with a cracked voice. A successful casting yielded a complex musical instrument. Craftsmen meticulously shaved layers of metal off the inside of the bronze until it produced a perfect fundamental note, layered with multiple resonant overtones. This 3D diagram shows how architects maximize that sound by designing towers as physical megaphones. Acoustic waves travel out from the bronze and strike the angled wooden louvers in the windows, pushing the audio directly down into the streets below. Through the precise manipulation of heated metal and angled stone, early engineers built an acoustic device capable of blanketing miles of terrain with a single strike. That reach allowed the tower to act as a central broadcast station. By varying the speed and rhythm of the strikes, ringers transmitted specific, urgent data directly to the citizens below. At dawn, noon, and sunset, the Angelus bell rang in a strict pattern of 3 strikes, paused, and finished with 9, organizing the agricultural workday. In the evening, the couvre-feu rang, an instruction to extinguish hearth fires and go to sleep. For emergencies, the rhythm broke completely. The tocsin was an erratic clanging produced by a frantic ringer. This fast, chaotic noise functioned as an early warning siren for structural fires or an army approaching the gates. During a death in the community, the tower signaled a knell. A heavy, methodical swing sent out a single toll every minute, counting upward to broadcast the exact age of the dying person. For celebrations, dozens of bells rang simultaneously in an overlapping peal. Villagers even believed the immense acoustic force of this joyous ringing could physically shatter the air currents of incoming thunderstorms. With this distinct vocabulary of rings, tolls, and clangs, one central tower dictated the work schedules, mourning periods, and survival protocols for thousands of residents. Looking at this animated map of a medieval city, you can see how the physical reach of the sound waves established geographic boundaries. Where the concentric circles faded into silence, the city's influence stopped. Because of variations in the foundry process, the bronze in every city produced a unique chord. Over years of listening, locals internalized the exact pitch of their home tower. Because this audio signature was so specific, it functioned as a filter for citizenship. A resident knew exactly how to react to their tower's rhythm, while a traveler entering the gates found themselves disoriented by a language of strikes and tones they couldn't translate. By the late 18th century, the cultural perception of the tower fractured. During the French Revolution, the massive bronze instruments that organized civic life were viewed as symbols of religious and aristocratic control. Militias scaled towers across Europe, dismantling the heavy equipment and dropping it to the ground. These fields of extracted bells sat idle in scrapyards, awaiting the high-heat furnaces of the industrial era. The metal that coordinated harvests and celebrated weddings was melted down and recast into artillery cannons. the network built to unify communities was consumed by the machinery of war. Today, noise ordinances keep many historical towers quiet. In newer buildings, the heavy cast bronze has been replaced by digital controllers broadcasting pre-recorded audio through electronic speakers. Despite the silencing of the towers, the instrument remains a primary literary image for human connection. Ernest Hemingway drew on this history of civic sound when he wrote that, because we are part of one community, it tolls for thee. A heavy toll across a skyline still commands our attention. The next time you hear one ring, remember that you are listening to humanity's original broadcast system, still vibrating the air after 1,000 years.